All right, guys. I know that one of the last posts that you guys saw from me was me acknowledging some of the concerns that you guys have done a great job of addressing over social media. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys that has either sent it to me in a DM, a text, called me about this, and let me know some of the concerns that are regarding Urban Necessities. So in this video that I'm posting, I want to kind of explain and advise what I think needs to happen, and then the action that I will be taking to try to help, right? So it starts January, February of 2022. As you guys may or may not know, my wife is diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, which at the time is very concerning to us. It still is, and something that we're currently still battling with. She's my right hand. She, as you may or may not know, has been everything that I haven't been able to be for the brand in its first, 8, 9 years of the brand that we were a part of the brand. May 2022, I go to a sneaker con and I meet a group of people that represent a company called Shoe Surgeon. I meet Dominic, aka the Shoe Surgeon, and shortly after that, days later, I meet Dallas and Bimbo, who is his business partner and operator in Surgeon Worldwide. Over the next month, we start negotiating and talking through what it looks like to, help me run Urban Necessities because of my concerns of it being a little bit bigger than I can take on by myself, given the tools that we had, and my focus being on Joni and her health issues. We worked for months together without a deal in place, just operating on essentially what is a spit handshake. In November 2022, I sign a deal, which then takes me about 8 months later to recognize that I have absolutely no operational say in this business, and I am converted from an owner-operator to just owner, founder, employee. And the one thing that I also accepted in this contract, which falls on me, is the liability of this business, with some of it being on me personally. When we did this deal, there was an exchange of some money that I gave all to Joni, and that money was used to pay some of our taxes, and we bought a couple of properties to take care of our friends and family. What didn't happen that should have happened at that particular moment was Joni should have been removed as a managing member, and she was not. May of 23, Joni allows Urban Necessities and Surgeon Worldwide to borrow $300,000 for a buy that was used towards product that needed to go for the store, as well as some of our licensing deals that we were doing abroad. I was very adamant that I thought it was not a good idea, and I did not want to see that money spent in that way. And Joni's reply was, "I'm just trying to help." We agreed on some of this money being repaid in a timely manner. We are currently still not repaid for that debt. And as I continue to go, you'll see why I probably don't think we're going to see a dime of it. In September of 23, my issues and concerns for changing consignment agreements without being truly transparent to consigners, changing the prices to price points that I was not comfortable with, and some of the operational started creating a lot of issues for me. We used to be on, and I was a part of, operational calls for the business, and at some point, I'm advised to not speak on the calls because I'm, basically making noise and not really aligned with what the business is, while the false narrative is painted that I'm not trying to be a part of the brand, help the brand, or be anything positive for the brand. My issues continue to keep going from here. In November of 23, my issues are so bothersome to me, and I feel so helpless that I ask to be bought out. December of 23, I received text messages from Dominic that advised, hey, I understand. And in this also, I had already talked to legal consult, and we had found some breaches that Dom took ownership of. And in December 22nd of 2023, I am offered my first buyout. A buyout that we went back and forth on a little bit, but a buyout that at some point I signed the paperwork and they never did. After a few more months, my number of what I'm being offered to walk away is lower. And then after a few more months, it's lower. And after a few more months, it's lower. And by all this is going on, May 2nd of 2024, I am terminated as an employee of Urban Necessities. Now, by this point, I've now talked to 2 different lawyer firms. I've spent more money than I want to admit in lawyer fees. I have no visibility on the brand. My emails are deleted. I don't have access to who they're paying, where they're taking loans out, what they're doing with shoes, what they're pricing stuff at. And I keep trying to figure it out. October 8th, 2024, I signed paperwork to walk away for $0 in exchange for my freedom so I could be able to provide for my family with no restrictions. I hear nothing. No one signs anything. I'm trying to raise money through, liquidating some of the things that I own, because it has now been years that I'm not working and only living off of money that I'm generating through either 2J's Closet or our brand partnerships or appearance fees along the way. I hear nothing. I ask periodically, and I don't hear anything till the first week of June this year, where I'm being asked and advised that they're contemplating filing a bankruptcy. I then start re-engaging again now with a 4th different lawyer who was more helpful than any of the previous past and giving me a clear understanding and something that I am telling you that I am not running from. And that is, I am responsible for all liabilities, even though I have not been part of this brand for the last 3 years. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that they've wiped out my consignment accounts and took more money from me than I want to admit. It's frustrating that because I haven't had any transparency or visibility on the brand, and these guys have completely decided, for a lack of a better term, for whatever the reason is, right? Whether that was operational inabilities, looking over stuff. The reality of it is that people were knocking on the door to collect their money, and no one in my household or in my family or on my side of it was being advised of the debts. And one of those debts is a liability that had a personal liability assigned to me, which was a sales tax debt. That sales tax debt not only seized all of the money in my personal bank account, it did for Joni as well, even though both of us have not been with the brand for years. I'm not deflecting it. I'm not ignoring it. And I'm not going to run away from that responsibility. I have been talking to lawyers. I have been talking to friends. I have been talking to families. And that's why I have already listed the home that I live in for sale, as well as some of my other assets for sale, to take the steps, not only one, to pay that tax debt, but to make every single consignor whole throughout this process. That might take me a day. It might take me weeks. It might take me months. And I cannot allow any of my consignors to feel the burden or just lose, even though every lawyer, every friend has told me that the financial responsibility falls on my brand, and that at the end of the day, my brand could technically just bankrupt and walk away and leave all these people just out in the dark with no responsibility for it. It is not how I built my brand. It is not how I conduct business, and it is not something that I want to run away from. I am comfortable that if the numbers that they've represented to me are shown to me, that if what is on that P&L is true, if I am able to sell my properties in a timely manner, not only will I be able to repay the taxes immediately, I will also be able to pay the consigners in full right away. For me to do this, what I need and what I have asked and what I am currently negotiating is to take back 100% ownership of Urban Necessities and some of its debts. I will not take ownership for debts that have been accumulated, for accounts that they've created, for loans that they have taken in the name of the brand, and some of the brands that they claim to own, and some of the accounts that they claim to owe, some of the, layers that they've added are businesses that they actually have equity in, manage, or own. And I get it. It was my fault the last 3 years. And I signed I probably signed one of the worst deals in history. But it's only a bad deal because the people on the other side never felt doing it the right way. From even now, I have no guarantee that even though as I'm sitting here telling you the circumstances and situations that I have going on, which currently have me fighting for my life and realistically not even knowing where I'm going to live, I have to do the right thing. I'm going to do the right thing. And I'm hopeful that if I could get in there and I could try to correct it, that I might be able to salvage something. But a man of my word I am, and a man, and these are words I guarantee. Even if I don't see how I'm going to do it, I am going to do this. If my brand can't make it, I am comfortable that if those numbers are true, that I will be able to pull enough equity from the assets that I am liquidating to be able to run it operationally in the time that I need to be able to give everybody the remaining stuff that is in that store. I'm not running away. I'm not going to take your stuff, and I'm going to pay these bills. It's been an extremely difficult 3 years as my wife has been fighting for her life. Stage 4 colon cancer, watching her see every dollar that we had just gone because people felt like not communicating or doing the right thing, not only for us, but for the brand. I'm extremely sorry for the trust that you guys put in me and in my brand, and I'm sorry that I have let you down, and I hope that you give me the time and the opportunity to make this right. For 3 years, I've been going to the police. For 3 years, I've been trying to get the attention of the feds. For 3 years, I've gone to the Better Business Bureau. For 3 years, I've gone to lawyers. Very frustrating. I understand that the community may or may not support the next moves that need to happen on my behalf, and I have to live with that, and I hope that at the end of the day, people understand what my intentions were. And it was never to mislead you, and for that I'm sincerely sorry. And I appreciate the time that you've given me to address the concerns, and now you have an understanding of what my action plan is, and now it's for Surgeon to finally do what they need to do, which is right. 100% give me back ownership, remove some of the debts that they incurred, because there's just no physical way that I'm going to take on some of these debts that are just made up numbers. And maybe you used it in operational stuff, but it was stuff that the brand never needed. I understand that even when I ran it, some things slipped through the cracks, but each and every one of you know that have paid attention to me as a person, that I've always stood up, doing the right thing, even when it was the wrong thing for the brand. This is no different. Appreciate your time.